tent trials and tribulations, take 1, 2, or I'm not even sure what we're on right now, but this year we really have been battling with trying to figure out what style of hunt we were going to embark on as we get ready for September. What we really thought about was being more of a hybrid style hunt for this year. And so one of the things we've done leading up to this season is we did a couple scouting trips. We've done a bunch of e-scouting into some other units. We utilized everything from our Onyx maps to the new Go Hunt, which is really awesome, and their 3D topography piece is so cool. And we tried to utilize that to determine how our hunt was potentially going to be executed this year. And in the past, we've used a wall tent. We've had a 16 by 20 foot canvas wall tent. And that's a pretty labor intensive. It's a big, heavy, cumbersome piece by the time you figure in the frame and all of those things. And so we wanted to try and figure out maybe somewhere in between that would allow us a quicker setup, potentially still give us a home base, with the option, should we want to be able to move, potentially bivvy if we have to, and just be a little bit more mobile should we not like where we end up setting up a day or two into a hunt, or even in our case, looking at September and saying, hey, we may hunt 2-3 days at a time, come back. Unfortunately, we've got responsibilities and things like that as far as our facility and training and our businesses, and be able to go back out. And so rather than being, a 7 to 10 day period where we're all in, we wanted to try and create something that might give us a little bit better opportunity to set up, tear down, do some smaller hunts, potentially be more mobile when we get out to hunt, and then figure out, is this something that's going to work for us? So what we did was we actually bought a new tent. We bought the Cabela's Alaknak. They came out with a new model. The original was a 12 by 12. We bought the 10 by 10, so a little bit smaller. The basically weighs about 60 pounds. And as you'll see in the video that we shared, we're going to walk through kind of the setup. We're going to give you a look at what it looks like on the inside, talk a little bit about its options, and hopefully it's something that maybe helps in your process, as everyone typically is, buying gear, upgrading, changing equipment, those types of things. And so hopefully it's something that might help you in your process. Give it a look. We appreciate you watching. Hopefully it's helpful to maybe help make decisions based on what your setup or what you're kind of hoping or style of hunt you're trying to do. Leave your comments, ask us questions. We're happy to make sure that we provide any feedback. And as always, make sure that you like and subscribe to the page. We appreciate you tuning in. All right, folks, so we just actually purchased a new tent, and what we were trying to do is show you setup. Cabela's came out with their new Alaknak series in a 10 by 10. Their original was a 12 by 12, and so kind of with how we're going to hunt this year, we wanted to be a little bit smaller, a little bit more compact, a little bit easier to get in and out. So we went with this. We're going to show you kind of the whole setup and walk you through it, and then show you what it looks like when we're done. And because they have no vestibule built with this, we're going to show you a modification that we're going to try and do so that we've got a little bit of a vestibule for the front of this that hopefully will work. So check it out. Maybe a little bit clunkier than planned to try and get this thing set up. Obviously, we're inside our training center, and without being able to stake things to the ground, we kind of tied some stuff off. But as you can see, we do have the tent up. It'll probably get pulled just a little bit tighter. You can see the guy wires are hooked to anything and everything in sight. But the tent itself, we're going to do a little bit of a cribs.
Yes, cribs edition.
We're going to take you on the inside, show what the features look like on the inside, which is it's a really good tent. I mean, I think for 2 guys, it's going to work really well. If we bring our cameraman, it's going to get super tight, but that's okay. You know, we're not planning on hanging out in there all day. It's just a place for us to be able to sleep, rest, recover, and go again. So let's check it out. So we are inside now. You can see there's a center post here. Obviously with the construction being as light as we can possibly make it, this tent itself is about 60 pounds total for all the equipment and the tent itself. So it's relatively light. It makes it pretty easy to move. If we go through some of the options, you will see that there's a stove jack in here and a zip out here where if we wanted to, we could bring a small stove. Again, that'd be a really nice feature for 2 guys to probably utilize. We probably won't use it this year with us. We use a Mr. Buddy that we can run off propane, which should be more than sufficient. Inside of here, lots of options. You'll see that down in here, these are fold downs, kind of nightstands. They got cup holders, allow you to store some of your things, your phone, a few items and stuff like that. And then on all of the walls, there are zip outs. So there's an external and an internal zip out here. This one will allow for light. If we undo the outside, it will allow for the mesh to actually show through. And as you can see, those move up and down really well. On the sides, these are really nice too. These are windows. They both have awnings that go out to the side, which is a really nice feature. And if you don't want to use them, or if the wind's blowing, or if it's too cold, these just zip right up. So the one thing we're going to do is we're going to see how our canopy actually fits with this, because we want to try and extend this out so that we can put the rest of our gear still potentially underneath of something without it being in the wide open, and then give us a place where we can sit at night, because obviously as you can see in here, we're pretty much just going to be sleeping. So we'll set that up next and see how that looks, and hopefully that'll be our camp for the season. So let's check it out. As you can see, the pop-up matches pretty well with the front of the tent. However, this is a 12 by 12, and we probably will downsize this to a 10 by 10 so that it matches up more precisely with the actual structure of the tent. We're also going to enclose this by adding sidewalls to the entire pop-up so that we have a nice area where we can keep the rest of our gear dry, give us a little bit of extra protection should we have any weather or other elements, even just getting ourselves out of the sun, and also just provide a way that we can have an area to cook, relax, and enhance our camp. We hope that you enjoyed today's video. We appreciate you tuning in. Please leave your comments or any questions that you might have, and as always, be sure to like and subscribe to our page, and we hope that you'll aim straight and have your tags be filled. Until next time, thanks for joining us.